This is Proverbs 30, verse 14. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among them. Kal halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rukwah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the brothers on down, teaching, preaching, pushing this gospel. Good news to the four corners of the earth, waking up the hopeful elect of Israel. Greetings also to the few sisters that tune into these video epistles. We're calling this lesson, we're looking at this, the next major prophecy. We're all excited, we can't wait. And so we call this lesson Marketing the CHIP. You see, if we speak openly about it, our videos get taken down. This man who's in rulership, the Edomite, the white man, that's who he is in the scriptures. He doesn't want us to speak the truth because it's cutting him up. The two-edged sword, it's killing him. So every time you want to mention it, you've got to have all these stupid little code words as to how you speak about what this man is coming to bring next before you get labeled as some kind of threat just because you're speaking the truth. And so this problem that this man has created in the earth, it's like a blindness. You try to speak to anyone about this truth and about who is actually doing the oppressing, who's in the rulership. They can't see what you're speaking about because this man is like a blindness, a total blind spot with this white man. He's been going around parading as various different people quite successfully. All these pseudonyms, also known as, he's got heavy disguise and, like these women with makeup, or someone who's had to have reconstructive surgery, you see? And so he's not recognized as what you see in the scriptures. Oh, you're a murderer, he's a thief, he's a vagabond, he's a liar, deceiver. If you put these words against this man, people say, well, what are you talking about? Because he's put himself up as our power. He's renamed our God, our power, the God of Israel. His name is Yahweh, meaning he to be the existing one. He's the only begotten son. Yahweh Shai, our Savior and Redeemer, High Priest and Mediator in the heaven. It's the God of Israel. And they're daring, just because they're in power, they can control the narrative and call people bywords. But this is all prophecy. They're calling us Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the dispersed, the diaspora. That's who we are. We are the children of Israel. You see? But he's hiding under all these lies. So you can't say openly who this man is. Murderer, rapist, liar, thief. All this alphabet agenda. He's a Satanist. He drinks blood. He smashes up babies. All these people are disappearing. What is he doing? He's sacrificing them to his God while he's posing as our God. See, he doesn't actually believe his own lies. The covering cast, that's Isaiah 25:7. We won't go to that one, but we will go to that covering cast is being removed. Let's get one in Psalms. Talk about speaking as but as 55. Psalms 55. Let's start at 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. He's over there. He's just finished up this meeting, a devilish meeting. All these Satanists was meeting up. What are they discussing? The next agenda. That's to show that they're leading the world. No one can tell them what to do, and yet they were not elected. Who put them there? It's our power who's allowing them to do what they're doing, but they don't recognize him. So let's keep going. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, whose name is Yahweh, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved, but thou, our power, shalt bring them down into the pit of destruction. Who's that? That's that white man, the Edomite, that devil in the scriptures. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. Let's go back to, I think we had something more in Proverbs. Proverbs 4. I'm going to keep going back and forth, line by line. Excuse me, getting a bit windy around here. Proverbs 4, let's go from 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, and unless they cause some to fall. That's how wicked this man is. It's the very nature of the man. He's been given the sword as his blessing. That's in Genesis 27, 37 to 41. You see where the blessings were being given out. So unless this man uses his sword, which comes in many guises, he's not happy. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness, and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the just is as the shining light, that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. Verse 19, the way of the wicked is as darkness. They're calling themselves illuminated, but it's all darkness. It's death, it's destruction, murder. That's all they're interested in. They know not at what they stumble. Daniel, let's get Daniel 8, verse 25. And through his policy, which they're devising even on their beds, they just can't sleep. Daniel 8, 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself. See, all these words keep describing exactly who this man is. Subtle, crafty, serpent. You see, he won't stand up. He cannot stand up to the truth. He's got to be doing all of his business in the darkness. You see, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes. Who's that? That's Yahweh power, Yahweh Shai. But he shall be broken without hand. Where next? Sirach. Let's get one in. It's a regular one we use here. Ecclesiasticus. Sirach. That's 12, starting at 10. Never trust thine enemy, for as like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. That is it's a sure thing. We don't need to guess. We know who this man is. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. You see? And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. It can't be wiped away. It's his very nature. As scripture says, born from his exit his mother's womb, is speaking lies. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. That's exactly, look, they're all over the place, claiming that they are us. They've stolen our identity. If you stand and say who you are, they say, oh, I'm upset you can't say who you are because I'm you. It's just such a ridiculous argument. Never let them sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? Well, if you line up and get this man's under the skin technology, which they're starting to market it now. We mentioned before, it's what we call it, sexing it up. You've got all these benefits that you can get if you get this thing. I saw this video with this person who has dozens of these under the skin technology, under everywhere, all over every finger, all over their bodies. Oh, this one does that, this one does that. They're quite happy and content with what they've achieved, and telling everyone how great their life is now that they've got this technology from this man. But who will pity a charmer? When you go near the snake, who's going to have pity on you? Job 24, start at 4. They turn the needy out of the way. The poor of the earth hide themselves together. Let's jump to 13. They are of those that rebel against the light. They hate the light of this truth. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. They eye also of the adulterer waiteth for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me. And disguiseth his face. He's calling himself all these different names. Everywhere he conquers, oh, I'm Greek. Oh, I'm African. I'm American. I'm all these places. I'm German. I'm Swedish. No, you're not. You're an Edomite. That's who you are in the scriptures. We know who you are. Let's keep going. In the dark, they dig through houses which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. They know not the light. You're calling yourself illuminated. You're not. You're a liar. You're a thief and a murderer. We know exactly what the deal is with you. For the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. He is swifter as the waters. Their portion is cursed in the earth. This is repeated over and over. He beholdeth not the way of the vineyards. It's not about building anything. We're going to go to next. We have one here in Job 9 and 18. Let's have a look. Or should that be Psalms? Job 9:18. He will not suffer me to take my breath, but filleth me with bitterness. Job 12. Just going to hit a couple of points here. Oh, I think I'm in the wrong chapter. Let's go to Psalms. Psalms 9 and 18. Let's check. What does that one say? For the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectation of the poor shall not perish forever. Oh, power, we're being chastised, but it's not going to go on forever. And as a matter of fact, this man, we're coming up to the end of his rulership. So we might as well just enjoy it. Psalms 12. I think we have a few here in Psalms, just to hit a few points. Psalms 12. Let's go from 5. For the oppression of the poor, for the sighing of the needy, now will I rise, saith the Lord. I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him, which is exactly what these people do. They laugh at our situation. We're right down low. They've got us locked up in their jails. They've polluted everywhere that we live. Come to the countries where we live and plunder and rape and take all of the stuff. Then when the people of those lands have nothing there and they're running all over the place looking, then they put up barriers. Oh, you can't come to our country. But that's where they've taken all of your stuff. And then they find it funny. There's this joke of a president was saying, these shithole countries. But you're the one that went and plundered the countries where they were. But no, because you control the narrative, we don't have any discussion about that. Thou shalt keep them, O Lord. Thou shalt preserve them from this generation forever. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. Let's get a couple more here. I think we were still in Psalms 35. Psalms 35, let's go from 10 to 12. All my bones shall say, Lord, who is like unto thee, which delivers the poor from him that is too strong for him? See, we've been reduced to allow the vilest of men, the weakest of all the nations. See, the Most High is showing his power here. That I can take this man who was just a few years ago in the caves. He had lost his ability to speak. Many of them were not upright. They've got it in their books. It's all over the place. They're trying to say it's billions of years ago. No, it's just a few hundred years back. And he's put this man in charge, showing his power. Where are we? 35. Start at 10. Let's go to 11. False witnesses did arise up. They laid to my charge things I knew not. They rewarded me evil for good to the spoiling of my soul. Jump to Psalm 72. We're looking at the way this man has treated the whole earth, but especially his target, the children of Israel. 72 and verse 4. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. That's what our power is getting ready to do. This man can't pass. The bounds are set for him. 82, 3-5. This is still Psalms. Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth under this wicked man are out of course. And the correction is just around the corner. Psalms 109, 15 to 17. Let them be before the Lord continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. Because that he remembered not to show mercy, but persecuted the poor and needy man, that he might even slay the broken in hearted. As he loved cursing, so let it come unto him. As he delighted not in blessing, so let it be far from him. See, this is all leading up to somewhere, to something. Isaiah 10, 1 and 2. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. See, they're doing it right now, writing up something into their laws to justify coming down again with more madness. To turn aside the needy from judgment, to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. These unrighteous decrees. Take this, put this on your face, this diaper. Take this poison. You see? And you have to do it or else. Isaiah 32. I think we just had one verse here, verse 7. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth. Well, let's jump up a few verses. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy. It's a direct, like putting a mirror against this man. Esau, Edom's face should be alongside many of these verses, to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices. Why? To destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh for their right. Even when the needy speaketh right. Let's jump to Yahushua had something to say on this. Let's go to Luke. Luke 21, starting at 7. Because all these, it's all prophecy. So we need not be alarmed, even though we're frustrated. And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? What things? Well, this major prophecy. The marketing of this CHIP, making it sexy. And then we're going to come down with great wrath. Luke 21 verse 7, and they asked him, Master, saying, when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, this is Yahushua speaking, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Yahushua, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotion, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. And he said unto them, nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, earthquakes be in divers places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you, and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. So if you don't speak the name, you don't need to worry about this part. It doesn't apply to you. If you're calling on some other name, you can just skip past this. This bit is not for you. This is for those who know the name Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, and call on that name, and are not offended of the gospel that is attached to that name. You see, and it shall turn to you for a testimony. What testimony is that? It's this gospel of truth and reconciliation, the law, statutes, and commandments, and faith in our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Where were we next? Isaiah 41. Just had one verse here, I think. 17. when the poor and needy seek water. See, this poor and needy is code for the Hebrew Israelites. We're right down the bottom. We have nothing. We don't have no representation at all of their meetings. We don't exist. You're nobodies. We don't care about you. We don't care to hear about your plight. There's no reparations of any site, of any type for you. You just don't count. We'll send all our money over to this other place. But you, well, we've got to have some discussion. And this goes on for decades. What they really mean is, you don't count. We know who you are. We know who we are. And we don't care for your situation. When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I, the Lord, will hear them. I, the God of Israel, will not forsake them. See, we're staying laser focused on these prophecies. See? Staying laser focused. Well, let's just read. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive this subdermal. It's a high-tech device. It's sexy. You need to have it. Free and bond, to receive this device in their right hand or in their foreheads. We're making it sexy. We're marketing it. That's what this lesson is about. It's a warning to us, to myself, and to anyone listening. Revelation 14:9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast. Who's that? It's that European Union, the NATO, and America, Babylon the Great, with, of course, with Canada, who's a part of NATO, and receive his under the skin device in his forehead or in his hand. What's going to happen to him? Verse 10, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture in the cup of his indignation, that's righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. It's all getting very noisy around here. Let's go to Job 14. Verse 5, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. You see, he can yell and scream, he's jumping up and down. He cannot go past the bounds that is set for him. There's another one. There's another one of these right here. Psalms 104:9. Thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over, that they turn not again to cover the earth. See, he's right at the end of his time. It's over for him. And this grievous sore, let's just read that quickly. Revelation 16 and 2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had taken this CHIP, this current marketing, which is I'm sure anytime now it's going to start stepping up. I'm looking for certain people in the public eye to step up, because this sore, it's that mark that we're talking about here. You see, and we learn that this is a cancer that is going to be put into the people if you take it. You see. So this man, I just written in my notes here earlier. There's no effort over the years. This man has not made any special effort. This is what man we're speaking about. It's the Edomite, the white man, that devil in the scriptures. He's not made the same effort to try to pose as, for example, the Elamite, that's the East Indian gods. They have thousands of gods. I was brought up living next door to a chap who was from India, Singh. And they have many, many gods. How comes this Edomite has not tried to usurp their gods? What about the Chinese, the Moabites? You've not made the same effort to force your wretched, leprous image on those people. Why not? They've all these gods. What about the Ishmaelites, the Arabs? They have another bunch of gods. Why isn't there an Edomite trying to force his way on that? What about the Africans or the Hamites? They have a bunch of gods. I think it's thousands. It's the Kemet thing and all. They've got all these gods. No, it's only the God of Israel. Job 9:24 tells us that he's pushed himself, covering the faces of our power. He's not interested in posing as the Asian God or the African God. You see, the Ishmaelite God, none of those interest him. No, he's pushed himself into the space or the place of our power, the God of Israel, because he knows the truth. But his time is up. It doesn't matter about your marketing strategy. We actually know what it is. We're waiting for you to push it forward and make it mandatory. You see? So do it. You've been listening to Marketing, the CHIP as sexy. Shalom until the next one.